Indeed, as Emperor Haile Selassi once said, an awareness of our past is essential to the establishment of our personality and our identity as Africans. Our continent is the place of origins, and as we rightfully continue our celebration of Africa Month, it is without a pleasure that every week after week, I get to bring you the best voices, entertainers and writers of our time. My name is Rightfully, and this is Trendz on the SABC News channel. We go by the handle @Trendz on Twitter. Welcome. Now, in partnership with the summer award-winning platinum-selling duo Black Motion, Ballantines was on the quest to find the sounds that make South Africa and Africa unique. They did this by collecting, curating and collaborating using everyday sounds, rhythms and beats to co-create one incomparable album titled The Ballantines Beat of Africa. Our producer Selepe Maifadi was out at the Turned Up launch this week at Turbine Hall in Johannesburg. Take a look.
We started off with you guys just in the beginning of that. How was that journey?
The journey was like all sorts of everything, man. It was difficult. It was fun. It was hard, but it was like a learning foundation for us, like in terms of music and where we're going with the sound. So yeah, man, it was everything. Just yeah.
So when you think about the tagline, staying true, what does it mean to you?
For us, it's like stay true to yourself, like just be you and then don't change. And then also don't forget where you come from, your roots.
How did you come up with the people that you decided to pick into the winnings of this competition?
It's just basically the story behind everything, that finding the sound, that one sound that represents Africa or South Africa or where you from in Africa. So there was a whole lot of entries, like there was like sounds like mabele, sounds like men at cocoa mining, and there was just a whole lot of sounds, paper shakers, and yeah, man, it was.
And head sound, we were surprised to find sound that we never heard before.
They said an ostrich egg isn't a real instrument. Try sound effects, way cooler.
What made you say yes to the beat that you actually picked?
Because it took us maybe a week, listening to those sound, and also it goes with the planning of the song that we were doing. So yeah.
So you dropped an album also from that Beat of Africa. Or is it already out?
It's going to be a mixtape from the Beat of Africa with the sounds that we were chosen from the competition, and the single right now it's going to be on radio, and yeah, man, it's just going to be crazy. And yeah, it's different styles. It's totally different from Yabadimu. So with this song, I mean with this mixtape, it's all about the sounds of Africa.
From the mixtape, you have to have a favorite. And
there's a sound shembe, like the church, the Shembe church. It's the African trumpet, and it's the hymns. It's kind of creepy, and I would go for that. And the one that's going to be the single featuring Okwazi.
This month we celebrate Africa Month because gimme. So what does that mean for you to be that kind of African artist that goes to go out there and go through other continents and do the most, like in the UK, and do best?
So yeah, man, for man, it really like how about differentiate Black Motion by wanna represent Africa. So now we're in a little next month, 3 months tour. So it's like representing and then go show off for Africa in town. So I get really the ambassador to Africa. So yeah.
For me, I see freedom. We're free to do beautiful music. We're free to travel all over the world, and we get the right support. And this music, it's done by the guys, from the township, from a guys. You'll find that the guy doesn't have anything, doesn't have nothing, but just the computer and the rhythm inside. So right now we're taking that rhythm and spreading it all over Africa. And what I love is that already the whole world is picking up on it. I've been checking out the Black Motion performing in Brazil. They signed to Defected Records. Defected Records. God damn. Nothing tops that, man. So honestly, what we're doing right now is amazing.
This is your boy Bongani.
Yeah, this is your boy Thabo Small.
And we are Black Motion.
You're watching Trendz right now. Baby, keep it locked.
Nice one from Black Motion. Now, there has been a growing demand for books by writers from Africa and the Pan-African diaspora. And as a result of that, Exclusive Books has significantly increased its stock holding of major works of African literature, from the late Nigerian novelist and poet Chinua Achebe to South African children's book author and novelist Chris van Wyk, across its stores. Now, to celebrate Africa Month, the bookseller is publishing a special 80-page catalogue detailing over 200 of these works, which originate from South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Ethiopia, the UK, US, the Caribbean. My goodness, the list is just endless. I'm so very happy. I am seated here with CEO of Exclusive Books, Mr. Benjamin Trisk, and author Eko Duka. Pleasure having you in studio, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Benjamin, I have to start with you and say, my goodness, so very much necessary that this catalogue and, this increase in African literature is now, it's translated into what's going on.
Well, African literature has always been there. The question has always been how much of it is out of the top drawer and how much of it is writing for writing's sake. And this catalogue, which features 250 books across the continent and in North America and the Caribbean as well, shows that there is so much good writing coming from black authorship. It's absolutely staggering.
Couldn't agree more. Eko, you've been writing for a while. Your latest novel, very interesting. Just tell us about the title, and I'm sure initially it might, rub off of people a different way or in the wrong way. But tell us a bit more about the mistakes that God apparently has made.
So I think so. And so the book is called The God Who Made Mistakes. Yeah. And I think in a continent where we have a strong belief in the spiritual, to have a title like that may be a bit controversial. Yep. The story is actually about a black married man who happens to be gay. Yeah. And he seems to believe that his God made a mistake because he has very strong and deep-set feelings about why he's the way he is. Sure. But I think you're right, the title is a bit provocative. But
you see, the great thing about books like this, Benjamin, would I not say, when people see such a title, it should then, make you curious to want to read it and find out, but why would this gentleman suddenly have, such a title for his book? Let's find out. Let's investigate for ourselves. Let's read, not always be told. You know what I mean?
I hate to tell you this, Rafulwe, but this idea that people who are browsing buy on the basis of a title is totally erroneous.
Okay.
People buy on the basis of the design and look and nature of the cover.
Really?
Yeah.
So cover could be anything not even related to the book, and that will create more interest?
I'll give you an example, and it's a book that was done many years ago. It was by a lady who still writes a lot for Vanity Fair, called Gail Sheehy. And she wrote an extraordinary book called Passages. And her publisher brought it out in the same format, same look, but the background color was different each time.
Okay.
The orange and yellow outsold blue and green by a ratio in our stores of about 15:1.
My goodness. Okay, so that brings in a whole lot of things and color theories and, colors that are attractive and very interesting point.
But obviously people don't buy a book because the cover is pretty or not. But I can tell you, you can have the best author, and if the cover is really poor, it will affect sales.
Okay. Oh, well, with literary festivals happening today and next week, I sincerely hope, you know, through the panelists and they communicate this information, because that's really interesting. I like that. Echo, now, 2014, you had 2 books published, White Wahala and Dying in New York.
Yes.
Were these very different to your current book? Like, what do you write about? What really gets you? Do you write about different things, or are there certain themes that run through all your books?
And I think at the heart, the themes that run through my books, they're largely about the relationships between men and women.
Okay.
Dying in New York was it's a book about child abuse as told by the victim, who's a young girl. The God Who Made Mistakes, as we spoke about a few minutes ago, it's a story about a married man. And the first one, White Wahala, that's a story about a moneylender who falls in love with a white girl.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, at the base of, I think, all of us as human beings, it's love, relationships, and how we navigate those throughout our lives. You know, who else is on this catalogue? Benjamin, tell us about, you know,
if I can just
have you read all these books?
If I can show this to your camera. No, my staff don't let me anywhere close to the choosing, the curation, or the selection of any of these books. They don't think that I have the literary skills to do it.
Okay, that's why you hire experts.
I was saying to Echo that there are 3 of Echo's titles in here. Another author who I think deserves the Nobel Prize, and I'm sure will get it one day, is Ngugi wa Thiong'o, the great Kenyan author.
Sure.
There is Literature Walcott, the great poet. He's in here. In fact, there's a very interesting book of his.
Something for everyone.
Absolutely.
Children's literature, that's grown by quite a bit over the years. What's in this?
We've seen children's literature grow enormously. There's nothing in this. Now, you get me if I've got a moment on a point. When I bought this business with my partners 3 years ago, I was not convinced that the vernacular was important for children growing up.
Right.
And I've changed completely. I think that one of the problems in this country is that we don't have anything like enough literature in the 0 to 5-year category where parents can read in the vernacular to their children.
Definitely.
And we have decided to change that. So in the next year or 2 years, I think we'll probably publish 60 books ourselves.
Oh, I look forward to that.
In that age group.
Thank you so very much, Benjamin. Pleasure having you here. Echo, congratulations.
Thank you
Wish
very
you
much.
all of the best and success going forward. And Benjamin, definitely in 2 years' time, I will be one of those, because we're always searching online trying to buy African vernacular literature. Thank you so very much for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, in Africa, music is always seen as inseparable from the human existence. Now, it carries long traditions and values that are associated with the people and represents part of their very, very important identities. The All Africa Music Awards recently held a press conference in Sandton, Johannesburg, where they revealed their calendar for the year, with the awards set to take place in November, hopefully right here in Joburg.
The quest for the All Africa Music Awards host city has begun, and Johannesburg, South Africa is in the running. Previously hosted in Lagos, Nigeria, Afrima is designed to promote the distinct, rich African music worldwide, engaging millions of fans by propelling African music to glorious pinnacles beyond the borders of Africa. Having hosted the press conference in South Africa, organizers are hoping for a lot more buy-in from government as well as local musicians.
From the analysis, South Africa, we feel that South Africa as a country can do much more in terms of participating in Afrima. Many countries across the continent have been fully involved in Afrima in terms of internalizing the brand. So, but we feel there's need for more education in the country to understand the objectives of Afrima and the more that is for the Africans.
South Africa's talent industry is on the rise, and music is at the forefront, with hip-hop taking center stage.
Like any other talents on the continent, talents in South Africa are very great, fantastic, very creative, full of energy, want to be different. They're authentic and very original to their roots, and that's what Afrima is all about. So I think they are doing great, and I know that the sky is the beginning. Given the right and enabling environment, they will do much more than they're doing.
Afrima is a combined effort to recognize, award, promote and preserve Africa's rich music culture. In partnership with the African Union, it is expected to be the biggest music event in Africa. Though with efforts to bring together, some face issues of exclusion for various reasons and are hoping the organization can resolve them.
I'm an African artist. I have several backgrounds. So my African side is South Sudanese, Congolese, Burundian, Rwandese, and Kenyan. And then my Western side is French, Dutch, and Belgian. And being a French passport holder, it's hard as an African artist, one, to say out that I am an African artist with the title of it, but also to enter in a lot of different award entertaining events and stuff because of the passport. It kind of puts a break. So my request would be to Afrima and just to everybody else in the African continent. We have many African artists also who are based outside of the continent who have passports from abroad. If they could just remove that barrier and just let African artists be African artists, and let's not give ourselves categories and do what the Western world do. Let's be a continent and a fruitful one altogether.
The event was filled with South African musicians as well as a few African artists. We hung out with some of them after the presser.
I'm an extreme advocate for like one Africa and like a global African sound. So just being here and being exposed to so many African artists and just different mediums and different companies, already just being here, the awards haven't even started, you know, they're like only happening at the end of the year, and I'm already speaking to artists about collaborations and that kind of thing, you know, so I think it's very good for the culture, and them being here in South Africa and giving us the opportunities, because I mean, I heard about this for the first time last year. You know, I never known what the Afrima Awards were, and I told myself that when I heard about it that I'd love to get myself on that platform.
Afrima Awards are a beautiful initiative. I'm from Zimbabwe. A lot of people don't know much about Zimbabwean music, and I walked away an Afrima winner when nobody expected it, because Afrima respects the quality of work, the standard of excellence ahead of how big a person's brand is. So as an artist, I find that pretty humbling that amongst thousands of entries, they would actually take time to listen to someone they actually have never heard of and put them up on that pedestal.
I am absolutely in love with Afrima. I do believe in their goal of becoming bigger than the Grammys. You know, Africa is on the map. The whole world is looking at us for our culture, our sound, our music. We're a festive continent. You know, our sound is very diverse and very wide-reached. You know, so there's so much beauty and health and growth within the industry. For the fact that Afrima has come out to do something like this, I love it. I know we're still a baby, we're nurturing, but we're going to get there, and everybody has steps to take and lessons that we learn in between. Nothing is ever perfect, but Afrima is doing an amazing job.
Entries for the award opened on 8th May for all African artists.
Phones, cloud systems and robots have taken over a lot of what used to be done manually.
Our accounting system is actually based on the cloud.
Google nowadays can tell you where you parked your car.
And Africa's entrepreneurs are using technology to create.
With Pocket Masipala, you can basically do all the services that you would do at the municipality physically by going there, but you can now do them on a mobile app.
Join me, Spumelele Zondi, on Sundays at 9 p.m. on SABC News.
Welcome back. You're watching Trends. Now this week, two music icons who achieved international fame and acclaim were remembered. South African Afro-pop singer Brenda Fassie, as well as Jamaican-born singer and songwriter, the ever amazing Bob Marley, died in the month of May 13 and 36 years ago, respectively. Take a look.
Affectionately known as Mabr and sometimes described as the queen of African pop or the Madonna of the townships, Fassie started her music career as lead singer of Brenda Fassie and the Big Dudes. The band's hit single, Weekend Special, top charts here at home and neighboring African countries. Mabr went on to release hit after hit when she went solo in 1996. She died on the 9th of May in 2004. Starting out in 1963 with the group Wailers, Bob Marley forged a distinctive songwriting and vocal style that would later resonate with audiences worldwide. After the Wailers disbanded in 1974, Marley pursued a solo career upon his relocation to England that culminated in the release of the album Exodus in 1977. Exodus stayed on the British album charts for 56 consecutive weeks. It included 4 UK hit singles, Exodus, Waiting in Vain, Jamming and One Love. Diagnosed with acral lentiginous melanoma in 1977, Marley died on the 11th of May in 1981 in Miami at the age of 36.
It is Mother's Day tomorrow, and what better way to celebrate all things women than with a qualified life coach and author who enjoys working with individuals to facilitate positive transitions in their lives, not to mention helping them cope. Now in studio today, I'm joined by Trendz who is here to talk about her book. It's titled To Single Moms with Love, God. Welcome, Trendz.
Thank you so much, Ripide.
Love the title. At a time when the face of parenting, the dynamics of parenting, the picture of a family has also changed so much. So very lovely to have a book like this, and it's not even too thick. It's very practical and things that everybody can relate to. So for people who would love to get a copy of the book, tell us what it's more about. As quickly as you can.
Okay, I wrote the book primarily to a large population that is known as single mothers. I don't myself believe in the title single because the title in society is largely used to shape whether you're a single woman or whether you're a single mom. Nobody calls married moms moms.
True. Very, very true.
But for women that have children outside of wedlock, for some reason, society finds it important to prefix such a potent role as motherhood to your marital status, as if that has anything to do with how you parent.
And so how well you do it.
Yes,
and that's
how
the
well
thing,
you do
where
it.
for many women perhaps who only, don't even co-parent, where mom and dad is you, they are doing phenomenal jobs.
Yeah, they are. They are, and they need to be need to be commended for the outstanding work that they do.
Okay, so interesting, chapters, and I like the fact that literally for all of them there is a Bible verse, and so I would assume then that your form of even life coaching is very religion centered in the Christian faith, and there is a lot of strength, of course, that people can draw from there. So tell us about the links that you see. I mean, the Bible was written, of course, way back then, but it's relatable to people's struggles now.
So because of my faith, I'm a Christian. I struggled with finding someone that I could relate to as what I'm known as a single mom in the Bible. And I did my research, and I actually came across Hagar. And I realized that there's been single moms or alternative ways of parenting
since time immemorial.
And I paralleled her life story with my life story as well, but also then to bring it all back into my Christian faith.
A title that caught me as well is The Single Mom and the Church. Now, faith is important. A religious support system is important, but we do know as well that sometimes these are the very same people who have the most judgment.
Yes.
So how do people navigate that?
And I did not escape that either. I was in the church when I fell pregnant. I think people think when you're in the church, you are immune to certain things. If your mind is not renewed pertaining to certain things, then you'll find yourself going back and forth between those things. So I fell pregnant in the church, and the vilification came. But that's not the only thing that came. There were people that were graceful. There were people that were loving. There were people that walked a journey with me. But ultimately, I had to learn to walk a journey with myself and with God.
That's right.
And to remove every other voice, whether it be of support or whether it be of vilification. I had to learn to remove it all.
Fantastic.
So I detail my journey, as we've read, about the single mom and the church, and why single moms feel displaced in the church, and what we need to do to restore them back into the church.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Other chapters are like the importance of fathers and why are you sending her and your child away broke. Thank you so very much. Happy Mother's Day to you
Thank
tomorrow.
you so much.
And great book to single moms with love, God.
And happy Mother's Day to every mom.
Thank you. Thank you. That's Thandi Velum. Right now we have a performance. I'm sure you know this track. A very, very catchy tune. It's from a guy from Swaziland. And he's playing us to ad break.
Africa is getting more and more digitized, and people have to navigate through an increasingly connected world.
I did a call my bay over here.
At school, I use my Wi-Fi.
On Network, we tell you about Africa's technology and social media landscape.
Politicians already do use Twitter a lot.
It's both Android and iOS compatible.
A solar charged box that includes everything, the computer, the projector.
That's Network with Ms. Phumelele Zondi every Sunday at 9 p.m.
Welcome back to Trendz. You heard him just before the ad break. It may be freezing cold in Johannesburg, but we are steaming things up in the studio. So you heard him. The guy has a track, very catchy. It's Tiki Tiki Tiki. Welcome, Sans.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great, and how are you?
Like since December. This is amazing because young, old people just love this. Is there a particular meaning, by the way, to Tiki Tiki?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tiki is actually the rhythm of the heart. It's the rhythm, it's the sound. Iziki.
Okay.
You know, yeah, that's what the song means. Basically, it's a song about happiness and love.
Right.
Yeah, mawujabulile inhliziyo yakho ishaya tiki.
Okay, I like that. And yeah, you are definitely on the mark because so many people, as I said, love the song. So you're originally from Swaziland?
Originally
Born
Swaziland.
Sanziso?
Born Sanziso Matsebola.
Right.
Yeah.
And so here's this guy called Trendz. Everybody, well, a lot of ladies online, I'm sure you have seen, are loving you. They are like, you are their future bae, husband, everything. You know what I mean? So you are definitely, you know, pressing all the right buttons to make many women's hearts, you know, go tiki-tiki. Tell us what you are about. Tell us how long you've been in the game. You know, just a little bit more about yourself.
Basically, I've been in the game for like 8 years as a performer.
Right.
It's only now that I've just decided to go back to go to studio and record the songs that I would perform, and basically making this the first album.
Okay.
And I'm all about singing music which each and everyone will find themselves in.
Yeah.
You know.
Nice though that, you know, you haven't switched to Zulu, for example. You know, many Swati artists would rather, I mean, they're quite similar but different also, as you know. And even though, you know, Swati is well spoken in South Africa, many will rather choose to conform, you know, and be a part of the bigger group. But you've done a great thing, you know, to hold and, you know, fly the Swazi flag high.
Yeah, I mean, Siswati is an official language here, and it has been looked down upon for so long, especially in the arts, as it has not been explored.
Sure.
So I chose to actually, you know, use it to sing. If, you know, in SA you speak Siswati, they'd say, "Ah, you sound romantic like a kid." Let's sing like that way then and see what happens, you know.
Okay, so you are the romantic guy. Tell us about other songs on your album. There's one that, is it Vuma?
Yes,
people absolutely love. So is your album more love, more joy, happiness?
Yes, the album is more about that. Vuma is a proposal song.
Okay.
You know, when you propose to a person.
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you have experience, by the way?
Well, yeah, imagination-wise.
So in theory.
In theory.
And in your dreams.
In my dreams, but literally no. But I guess that's what makes an artist.
Okay, so sing for me then. Let's reenact this proposal.
Angisafuni kucabanga kuthi kukhona lomhleko nawe. Angisafuni kucabanga baby kuthi kukhona lokungcono kunawe. Ngithi khanza ngikuce ngematolo nendandatho yedayimane esandleni sami ngicela kunye nje kuphela baby kuthi uvume kubange wami.
Hey,
I'll edit there.
Hey, okay. Before things get too steamy in this studio, Trendz, yeah, okay. Well, you are definitely on the mark. That's exactly why people love Vuma. What has response been like at home? I know just next week, is it next week or week after? Week after that you are out at the Bushfire Festival.
Yes,
biggest festival, amazing, long tradition, you know, and really the best of the best in Africa, in South Africa, and everywhere else. Go there. So tell us about being at the Bushfire.
It's actually the top 5 festivals, one of the top 5 festivals to attend in Africa.
Yep.
And it's hosted in Swaziland, which makes it greater. And this year I'm lucky enough to headline it on the 27th. And yeah, the response at home, that's what I'm grateful for. It was big at home first.
Yeah.
And it then grew to the rest of the SADC countries. And I appreciate, you know, my home people for even accepting, you know, this brand to the extent that they did, such that we got nominated now.
Yeah.
Even in the awards back at home.
Absolutely amazing. Congratulations.
Totally amazing.
It's your time. Shine on, sing and woo the ladies. And yeah, that proposal, one day, yeah,
we
want to know who you actually did the real one to. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much
for coming through and for performing with us. Yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, let me stop. He almost got me to blush there. But it's cool. So as we've been saying, we're celebrating Africa Month, and the Kaulu African Contemporary Art Company has brought an exhibition to Constitution Hill with the aim to promote conversations in Africa and internationally that change perceptions of the continent through contemporary art. It provides a platform for African contemporary artists and cultural practitioners to engage with a showcase of contemporary art from all around the continent. Take a look.
This art exhibition, which features works of 13 female artists from across the African continent, explores what it means to be a woman, especially in Africa. Being her and being here provokes the thoughts of the viewer to look into the trials, tribulations, and victories of African womanhood and motherhood. Curators at the gallery Refilwe Nkomo and Tato Mokhodzi were responsible for putting up this exhibition, and they tell us more about it.
Being Her is basically an exhibition of 13 female artists from 7 countries across the continent. We're focusing on African female artists and their narratives. It's titled Being Here, Being Her, a meditation on African femininity. So really reflecting and dissecting, unpacking, sitting with this idea of what it means to be a female body, to be a woman right now in this time and space.
The exhibition looks at how the bodies of black girls and women have been used historically to emphasize their inferiority. It also examines this from a historic, social, economic, and gender political perspective. The artworks show how women have challenged and continue to challenge the myths and assumptions about femininity to find their own identities.
It was a happy coincidence that the programming at Constitution Hill was open during the time that we wanted to host the exhibition. Then we sort of did a couple of site visits, and we recalled the narratives that already exist here in terms of South Africa's history and in relation to women's contribution in that history. And their voices are very much presented in the spaces that we've chosen for the exhibition. The women's jail and the old fort ramparts. Those are the two key sites where we've installed the works of these artists.
Themes including gender, subjectivity, memory, belonging, sexuality, her, and identity are some of the issues addressed in this exhibition. Being Her, Being Here will run until the 9th of June.
My goodness, yeah, it looks like a very, very powerful exhibition. Go check it out at Constitution Hill. Now, the Style Factor hosted an exclusive high-tea Muse Trend Modern Modesty fashion party at La Vie en Rose restaurant in Killarney. Now, this past Sunday. So the event was attended by fashionistas and the media and gave a sneak peek to those who attended of what to expect at this weekend's Hijab Fashion Week starting today right here in Johannesburg. We caught up with host Asima Kazi and the designers. Check it out.
They look amazing.
My attendance at this style party where hijabs, which are veils traditionally worn by Muslim women, was definitely the first for me. The event showcased some of the best fashion South African designers in the modest wear industry, and it taught me a thing or two about being open-minded and trying out different looks.
My objective of today is to celebrate the different trends out there, as well as celebrating it in a modest fashion and creating an awareness that a woman can dress modestly but in a modern way. So it's also a way of empowering women and showing them that they can look good, as often there's a misconception that if you wear modest clothing, you're wearing oversized clothing and unattractive clothing. So I've showcased different designers here today, showing that modest clothing can look actually fab. I've chosen 3 designers that have showcased their works here. One of them is one of the leading South African brands, and that's called the Ajman brands. The brand has hit South African soil by storm, and it's a massive brand at the moment. They've actually used their inspirations from New York. They've been selected to participate in the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week in Malaysia, and they're a fast-growing brand in South Africa. So I've used them because their fashion is very modern and trendy, as well as another brand called Fabulous in Hijab, and she's Cape Town based, and her brand caters more for the middle-aged woman category, and she's also the founder of Hijab SA Fashion Week. And the last designer that I've showcased is called Demure by S. She's a young, fresh designer which I've brought on board, and a lot of her designs, like the one you're wearing, is very much trendy and it has a very young, fresh look about it. I'm also, as the Style Factor, on a huge drive to promote local brands and local talent. So I believe in just bringing out the local designers for them to showcase their works and create a collaboration with them.
Demure is doing modern modesty, but besides that, I'm looking at the wow factor. I want you to look like you just walked out from a movie, you know what I mean? I want that elegance, the touch, the rawness, the the beauty to show in my clothing. So at the moment, what I do is I go fabric shopping. I don't even design anymore. I'm like, I look at the fabric and I'm like, I see where that's going. And then I buy the fabric and I just snip to where it takes me. So what you guys are wearing is actually just inspiration. I saw the fabric and I thought this is how it's going to look like in my mind, and it was there while I was sewing it.
And how did you see Buntas getting into the perfect modern muse for your look?
She's gorgeous. Look at her. I mean, when I saw her, I knew she's going to fit in those colors because it complements her face. I mean, she's absolutely beautiful. So are you, my darling. But I mean, look at her. She can pull off any look, like from this to the biker chick to whatever. You name it. I'm crushing on her all day, every day, you know.
Bunta, how do you feel in the outfit?
You know, when you wear an outfit that really speaks to the type of energy that you want to exude, that's what it is. I feel like I'm wearing a good, happy, but very passionate, super expressive, but a bold statement kind of look. And I think that's what it is. It's super memorable. It speaks to who and how I am and what it is that I want to achieve in a moment, you know, and I love it. You know, I feel absolutely incredible. I feel amazing. So she captured everything perfectly. And so, yeah, I couldn't be happier.
The high tea program included various demos in hijab styling as well as Eid looks, a real taste of what you can expect this weekend at the Image Lifestyle venue. On the lineup of the event, there'll be featured speakers who'll be addressing issues of awareness about leadership in African women, touching on topics that expand on what it means to be living the concept of Ubuntu and empowering the community. So go out there and support our local industry and open your mind towards the endless fashion tips of dressing modestly.
Failure to implement the water restriction is going to make the system not workable. For the domestic use, everyone should not exceed 25 kiloliters per day.
What is the penalty and how much have you raked in thus far as a municipality?
For domestic users, if they exceed 25 kiloliters, then they're going to be charged a penalty on their monthly bill. And so far already we've collected 1.7 million.
The 200 million rand state-of-the-art school in Magaliesburg has been vandalized by drug addicts. How bad is it?
It's very bad. Into the hostel residents, it was even worse because there the doors, the wardrobes, the beds, the ceiling were broken down. Showers were ripped off and it couldn't be used by students who are actually using that particular boarding facility.
Welcome back. You're still watching Trends. Now, the inaugural HVP, I almost said HPV. Oh my gosh, I'm such a woman. Sorry. Inaugural HVP, Hip Hop versus Pantsula Dance Competition, is the platform where the sounds of Babes Wodumo's Wololo will meet Nasty C's Hell No and Gom versus trap fanatics will battle it out with hip-hop and Pantsula dancers competing for the prestigious HVP Best Dance title. Now, the competition culminates an all-stars showcase for the finals to be held at the end of this month, giving the opportunity for dancers, parents and the public to attend what will be an amazing, amazing concert. I'm now joined in studio by Kena Mahlangu and Vukani Khoza to tell us more about the journey that came with, this inaugural dance competition. Welcome to studio, guys.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you here. And so, Kena, as a creative director, I said earlier, I'm like, okay, when I look at the two of you, Vukani looks like he's got some dance capabilities and experience, but you're the businessman. You're the one who tells people what to do, where to go. So, can I tell us more about this?
The Club 10 HVP is quite a great concept. Because what we did here is that we looked at the whole lot of dance competitions that have been happening in the country. And we said we wanted to find a sweet spot. And how we positioned it is through the lot of debates within the arts industry in terms of which one actually is the best. Is it hip-hop? Is it Pantsula?
I don't think you could ever win that in South Africa, for example. My gosh, you'll anger some people.
Yeah. And then we said, look, let's create a competition. Let's have hip-hoppers, let's have Pantsula dancers, let's give them a platform, and let the audience be the judge, and let everyone be the judge in South Africa,
Okay, Vukani, so what's your background?
My background, I started as a dancer and became a musician. I've been in the music industry and dance for 20 years, so I'll be the judge in the competition. So I'm looking for great dancers and people who know what they're doing. So
okay, so your background is dance, but what kind of dance?
I do all kinds.
All kinds.
Except
because no, Ken, I don't laugh because there are very, very prestigious male artists who have gone to do amazing things in the world of ballet.
I do respect ballet.
Yes. Now, okay, the different genres of dancers and even the judges. Tell us who else, do you have prominent people who have been, very long-standing people in the dance community who will be judging?
Definitely. We've got Loshia Cooper.
Okay, the Grace.
The Grace, Loshia Cooper. She'll be holding it down in terms of technique. We've got Vukani, we've got Vokes, with no jokes, amazing hip-hop dancer. So he'll be looking at your hip-hoppers and the technique and what they're doing. We've got
when you talk about that, sorry to cut you there, Kena, but when you talk about that, I think it might almost be unfair to have hip-hop versus, Pantsula dancing and even the other little subgenres. Because you look at something like hip-hop and it looks very technical because even within hip-hop, people do very different kinds of things. Pantsula, could I be right in saying it's an anything goes kind of things because it's all about what your body feels and you just move? Yes or no?
Necessarily not.
Okay.
There are still subgenres, if I'm right.
Yes.
Because you still find Isipujo, which according to the competition we've categorized it under Pantsula. Even with hip hop, there's b-boys, there's crampers, and all that. So all these sub are under just hip hop. So they're all entering in the competition.
Okay. Vukani, what are you looking forward to seeing and what are you looking out for? I mean, the guys who might be here, I hope they're paying attention because they, if they listen to what you're looking for as one of the judges, it might just help them a bit. Well, so in terms of technique, in terms of connection with audience, a very big thing because it's not like modeling where, there's that very disconnect between your people and you. You need to connect as a dancer, right?
Well, energy counts a lot. Obviously, uniform, costumes must be on point, there are routines, lines, formation, all those elements. When you go to a competition, you need to be prepared, you need to be well organized, those are the elements I'm actually looking at.
But costumes nowadays can be expensive. This time of junk status, people might not have money, so
you can just go to small streets and get same t-shirts there.
Well, but again, you don't want people to kind of feel out because it's something like costumes. You're talking head to toe where everybody must be uniform and or even if they're not uniform, but there must be some blending in. So for somebody who can afford, your Yeezys or your Air Force Ones versus somebody else who's coming in all stars, it is kind of a different dynamic. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Okay. And in terms of when you spoke about Ispuja,
Yes.
you know, thinking back and remembering,
Yes.
you know, when Hear Me Move came out, oh my gosh,
Yes.
amazing film, you know, from Cold Stove Pictures that did so very well
Yes.
for showcasing what we're about. And we know Africa and Africans are a dancing people
Yeah.
through
Yes.
joy, through pain,
Yes.
through sadness, through
Exactly.
everything.
Yes.
We're always dancing. And Hear Me Move went on to do such a great thing to showcase our music and also, you know, the dance style itself.
Yes.
What I loved about the film as well is that it connected so many people all through Africa, and that's
True.
what dance does.
Yeah. Yeah. No, looking at this genre particular, there's a lot of expression.
Yeah.
That is why even in the competition, you know, if we talk about, for instance, pantsulas, you know, as you said, everything goes. Actually, we've got certain challenges that we're going to be giving them, you know, at the finale. So it's not going to be an easy go. These guys are rehearsing. We're going to see some serious stunts. Spectacle is going to be coming out, storytelling. So we're actually pushing the envelope, you know. We're pushing the genre so that we can find more out of it. So we are actually pushing it to make sure that this competition stands out as one of the competitions to look out to for 2018.
Nice. We're going to win, you know, over the years, we've had, you know, on our TV screens, things like So You Think You Can Dance.
Yes.
Do you think they are a true and all-encompassing reflection of what dance is in, you know, South Africa? Or?
I think dance needs more attention in SA, and I believe we don't have enough movies. We don't have, especially Pantsula. You know, the dress code. When you go to proper meetings, you know, they can't really fund you because of the way you dress.
And that's the thing, and it's so wrong because from the, geez, I don't even know when Pantsula started, but when a guy comes dressed in Dickies and they're looking cool
like
right now, you know what I mean?
Then you look scary, you know.
Security.
Yes, security, and it shouldn't be because if you are a Pantsula dancer with your sporty and you're looking, you are dressed the part.
You know
it's a culture, just like people say about hip hop, you know. And I think you're right in terms of people must be more educated and people must be more informed because not everybody is a thug. Or,
but I think we've got a big, treasure here in SA if we can really focus on our own style.
The saddest part is when your Beyonces, your Ushers, your Chris Browns do Pantsola stuff, and then it's like, oh my.
They're just taking a little bit.
They take a little bit, they tweak it and do it in their way, and then just because it's coming from there, then people are like, oh my. You know, it is the in thing.
For your information, Vugan was involved on the Beyonce project.
Really?
So, he's the guy that took it.
Yes.
You met her like this. Come on, my guy, come on.
It's one of those,
Are you for real? Okay, kudos to you, man.
No, I've been in the game for quite a long time.
Tell us about, you know, your African Child Dance Studio.
African Child started 2009 when I first came to Joburg to pursue my dream of dance and music.
Where
I'm
you
the
from?
first guy who put Msawawa inside the bag and made him a school bag. And that's how we made it through in City of Gold. You know, it's very hard to break through, and we were the first guys to make it through music and dance from Durban.
Fantastic.
You know, originally I'm from Durban. So African Child is a dancing school which is based in Terfountain. That's where I'm training kids from 11 to 4, Monday to Friday. So
and what
basically
age?
I'm just doing it for community.
For the community. Oh, nice one. And I mean, we know that, you know, some of your best dancers, is it true that, I mean, dancers for the most part are born? Because from the age of 2 or 3, you know, it's very difficult to kind of be an amazing artist if you are getting into it from the age of 12, 15. Am I correct?
Yes,
because your body develops in a different way.
Some can be trained. There's people that have trained. There's people that are born with it. You know, like me, I was never trained. And I'm able to train other people, and I've got choreographers who are making it in the game.
What frustrates you the most about people who either can dance or those, I think, maybe who think they can dance, but you're like, no, you know what, stick to something else. How do you tell someone? Because you're breaking their heart, you know?
True. But in my belief, if you can walk, you can dance.
Really?
Yes. It just, the passion comes from
rhythm,
the person who's training you. The
rhythm.
choreographer is the key.
Are you serious? Because you know,
anyone can
you know, I mean, I'm sure you've heard the very hot and contentious debates when people are like, no, rhythm, there's, you know, a genetic factor related to that, you know, and all. But
I've trained people who never thought they could dance.
Really?
Once my hands touch you,
whoa,
you're gone.
Hey, this guy. Okay,
Prophet
you know what I mean? That's fantastic. Guys, so the competition, when is, I mean, what's going on now? When is the last stages and all of that?
So we've had auditions in Johannesburg City Hall.
Yep.
And now we are going for the finale.
Okay.
Which will be on the 27th of May, end of this month.
May, where?
It's going to be in Soweto, Zone 10, Sidibeng. That's where it's going down. It's going to be crazy, man. We've got great entertainment. We've got DJs. We've got well-known DJs within Soweto. So it's going to be a great day.
Fantastic.
But I also want to reiterate that no under 18s allowed.
Really?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but well, for safety reasons and.
Yes,
but great stuff. Tickets available?
At the door.
At the door.
Definitely.
No online or anything?
No.
Okay.
At the door,
Fantastic.
$50 get you in before
Yeah, the info
9.
is on the screen. Fantastic. Guys, thank you so very much.
Thank you for
Doing
having
absolutely amazing things for dance. Vukane, you know, thank you for teaching the young ones. As you said, if you touch someone, they can dance. This guy's worked with Beyonce, guys. Hey, y'all don't know. We have international people in here. Thank you so very much, guys. And on another note, don't forget, the 26th of this month is also the MTN Bushfire Festival happening in Swaziland. It's the 27th of May, sorry about that. It's going to be absolutely amazing. More than 25,000 people are expected to be there, having an amazing time celebrating all that is vibey and amazing about Africa and her people. We are at the end of the show. We do have to say goodbye. I'm so very glad you could join me here. We've got our dancers in studio who will be part of the HVP Bantsola versus Hip Hop competition that is happening in Soweto in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you so very much. It's always a pleasure. Guys, are you ready? Fantastic one. Goodbye from me.